Hey Charles, I haven't said hey Charles yet, by the way.
Oh,
Hey, everybody.
we're live. Hi, everybody. Susan Batchelder here, and we are here to discuss Racecycler. I have with me on the panel Michael Leedy. I think
Hey,
he's with us.
everybody.
Kent Brown
Hey guys.
and Charles Hill.
Hey, everybody.
We have these hangouts anywhere from 1 to 3 times a week, and we discuss various topics. It's all centered around the community, how to build a community that people want to become a part of, and what we're doing to promote and enjoy the benefits of Racecycler. So I'm actually going to, well, we'll kind of focus the whole conversation on the importance of follow-up, but we're going to start off by Kent is going to give us an overview of the simplicity and the power of Racecycler. Over to you, Kent.
Well, sure, be happy to. Let's talk a little bit about the simplicity of it. And this is for the maybe the new people that are just listening in or looking in. Maybe you know what you're looking at, maybe you have no idea what you're looking at. But we're a part of the network marketing industry, as many of us are, many of you guys are. And what we created is something very, very simple. It really, truly is one of the simplest structures that anybody could get involved with and earn some really good income with. It's a $230 one-time purchase. There's no monthly fees. There's no website fees. UPS man, the FedEx man is not going to be dropping something off at your house each month. There's no auto ship that you're going to have to commit to or anything like that, which is one of the things that really appealed to me about this. It works on a simple matrix system. If you're unfamiliar with a matrix, let me kind of give you a visual to kind of understand how a matrix works. Ours starts off on what's called a 2x2, and it feeds to another 2x2. And once you've completed both of those, you will have earned $2,200. And of course, you can take your money, put it in your pocket, and go right off into the sunset, or you can come right back through it and earn it over again. I've actually earned that. I think I'm on my 7th cycle. No, I'm on my 8th cycle, eighth cycle that I'm going to be going through. So just do the math on that, guys. And that's just in a matter of less than 90 days. So it's really, really simple. To be fully qualified in the program, you do have to refer to other people. Which I would highly recommend that everybody do. In fact, I would recommend referring as many as you want to and go as wide as you want to. But to be fully qualified, all you ever have to really do is just get 2 people. And if you teach them to duplicate that, the whole process will take care of itself automatically. The programmers have put something together that you don't even have to keep up with. Of course, you can see all of this in real time. You can see it all in your back office. You can see how your boards move and all that good stuff. But here's how it works. Everybody that joins here joins for $230, and that's the purchase that you're making. Now, you are making a purchase. Now, what do you get for that purchase? That's what everybody wants to know. Well, what am I getting for spending my $230? You're getting online books and software that you can download, and it's great things. In fact, I was just told today we actually had another product that was added into our back office. I haven't even had a chance to look at it yet, but there's about 20 different things that you get with that. Great for marketing online, Facebook, how to win over difficult people, just things that you can use with any business, not just this one. So it's good stuff that you actually get. Now, I wasn't necessarily concerned about the product. Even as great as they are, I was concerned about the income that could be made, and that's what really appealed to me. So again, here's how it works. Everybody spends that $230, and when you spend that bucks, you're placed on what's called a 2x2 board. That board that you go on is the same board that the person who's referring you is going on. So when the board fills up, and by the way, there's only 4 spots that can be filled. The first 3 are already filled. Here's the visual that you guys need to understand. There's a person on top, and that's the pay line. There's 2 people under that person, and then there's the 4 line, and that's where everybody starts on that 4 line. Well, when that 4 line fills up, that board splits, the guy on top rolls to the next 2x2, and everybody moves up another level. So you can see on a 2x2, it takes very, very little people to make a board split or bust or whatever you want to call it. In fact, what is it, 12 people? 12 people will put you on the pay line. Now, that's not you getting 12 people. That's everybody that's on your board getting a couple of people and teaching them how to do the same thing. The thing that I loved about this cycle program that is so unique, in fact, I don't know that this has ever been done before, is you don't have to actually complete a cycle to be able to make money. What I mean by that is when you're on the pay line, as soon as someone lands on that 4 line, doesn't matter where they come from, doesn't matter who referred them, doesn't matter if it was spillover, doesn't matter how that person arrived on that board. As long as you're fully qualified, you're earning $50. So when you're on the pay line of that first 2x2, you're making $200, 50, 50, 50, and 50. So you can see how quickly you can earn back, your initial purchase. But where the real fun begins is when you go to that Grand National board, which is simply another 2x2 that the computer system will automatically place you in. It's a follow your sponsor system. So if I sponsored Michael, Michael would follow me. If Michael sponsored Susan, Susan would follow Michael, who's following me. If Susan sponsored Charles, Charles is going to follow Susan, who's following Michael, who's following me. So you can see, once you start to get a small little team built, how fast this thing can really move. And we've seen that happen with a lot of people. I've seen people in this who have cycled, no exaggeration, guys, no hype here tonight. I've seen people who have cycled this thing and earned $2,200 in less than 5 hours. That's how fast this thing can really move for those that are building a team. Now, having said that, let me also say this. I don't want anybody to be misled or misinformed thinking that you're going to spend $230 here and get rich overnight. It can happen, and you can make some really good money if you go out and you build a team of people and teach them how to duplicate that. Now, I know that's a long explanation of maybe how this works, maybe not the simplest explanation, but that is how it works. The simplest explanation that I could give someone, and this is what I teach my team, and this is what I teach them how to do. Let the programmers do what they do. They're way more knowledgeable, way more technical savvy than I could ever be. Just go refer two people and teach those two people how to do the exact same thing and do it within 48 hours. You do that, everything else will happen automatically. No problem with payouts. In fact, this company's to date, I've got to get the exact numbers, but we've paid out. We're right at or knocking at the door of $2 million. $2 million paid out in around 90 days. I mean, if that don't state something, the wood's wet. I mean, it truly is. I mean, this is the real deal, guys. It's working, and it's working for a lot of people. So that's the way Race Cycler works. That's what it's all about.
Thank you. Thank you. And it really is that simple. And that's staggering, actually. 2 million in 90 days.
I'm impressed.
I'm impressed. Can I ask you, before we kind of open up the discussion, can I ask you one specific question? And it's come to me from a few different angles, and then there was one specific person that asked it today. So, as you know, we have a smaller community amongst the bigger community of Race Cycler, and what we're trying to do is, keep people close, encourage people, figure out who needs help with what specifically, and help each other grow like that. So lately, we've been bringing people in or letting people come in that they're not in our direct line at all. They're just needing some place to go, and it works great. Why not help each other, right? So there's one person that has come in, and his sponsor has either left or is non-existent, and so he's kind of feeling like he's around on a board with green flags, doesn't really have a sponsor, doesn't have guidance, and he's just come to our group. What would you tell somebody that is in that situation?
It's a great question, Susan, and I understand why a lot of people ask that, because I've heard that from, I won't say several people, but a few, who have said, my sponsor's no longer actively pursuing this, or not working it, or I get no communication from my sponsor, or I don't even know who my upline is. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times I heard that. I don't even know who my upline is. Here's what people need to understand. Your team, and you got to really let this sink in, your team starts with you. And I don't say that to say, you got to be the leader and you got to be the one doing everything. If you understand how a cycler works and how a matrix works, it starts from you down. There's really no need to even be concerned about what's above you, what's around you, what's beside you, to the left, the right, another board, because the only thing you really need to focus on is your board. That was one of the reasons why, when we created this, we purposely did this. We didn't want people going out and seeking out and looking at everybody else's boards, because there's really no need to. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't change anything for you. You need to only focus on your board. So here's what I would tell somebody with that. I've seen a lot of people who have gotten involved with, we call them team builds. There's some other words and vocabulary for that. But what we teach people is if you've been involved with a team build, and we've said this since day one, team builds do not work in a cycling program. They just don't work. And I've always said that. But if you've been involved with a team build, here's the good news. All you have to do is refer two people, and that starts the process, and your team will start to build from there. Because, again, the program is designed for two who refer two, who refer two, who refer two. So even if your sponsor's not there, and I've got several people, maybe 10, 15 people that I've actually added to my email list as well, who had that same reason. I'm not getting emails. I don't know what's going on. I don't know when the conference calls are. I don't know when the Google Hangouts are happening. So we just stuck them on our email list, too, and we're more than welcome to have people listen in on our call. In fact, our team call that we do every Monday night is open to anybody. Anybody at all. It doesn't matter if you're on our team or not. Because we want to see everybody benefit here. Because here's the grand picture. This is how it, and I don't want to let too much out of the bag here tonight, but come January, because everybody helps everybody who helps everybody who helps everybody. There's going to be a nice little kicker that's going to be thrown in this thing come January. It's going to be a real nice surprise for a lot of people. I can tell you that. It's actually almost completed now, and that'll be rolling out in January. Just one more edition that's going to be coming into it. So that's what I would tell somebody. Just start with you. Just start with you. Get a couple of people and build you a nice little team there, and teach them how to duplicate and create that. You know, one other thing too, I want to add this, and this is a very, very simple thing to do. Once you start to build a team, something as simple as just creating a small email list. You know, if you've got a Gmail account, just create you a little contact list, and that's how we get the messages out to our people. You know, every time I sponsor somebody, bam, I put their email in. When they sponsor somebody, I would encourage them, hey, send me the people that you referred. I'll add them to the email list. And then it makes it real easy. You know, you send an email out, hit a button, bam, everybody gets it. And all the info goes out at one time.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And that's kind of the same thing with me. Like, my sponsor isn't active either, so I'm just focusing on the people that I'm bringing in. But just to make sure that that is the right thing to do, thank you very much. I kind of threw that question at you cold, so thanks.
That's okay. I know how this works.
Exactly.
Can I jump in and add a little bit to that?
Sure, Charles.
Sure, love for you.
What his answer was is perfect, to be honest with you, because it does start with us. I've got several people where I've sponsored 6 people, and I've got several of them that are saying, well, I'm busy or I don't have time, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. I have now become part of this team. It is not a team build because I'm like you. I don't believe that they function well in the 2x2 program. But what we are doing right now, I honestly think in a matter of, I'll give it 6 weeks, because we've been doing it for about 3 or 4, will become one of the more exciting building programs in the Race Cycler. I have people that are hitting me on Facebook saying, hey, send me a link to this, send me a link to that. And what's happening is they're realizing that they don't have to work in a line. As long as they're willing to work and work with integrity, come on over into this type of a program to where we're all helping each other. We've got guys like you, Kent, that are coming in saying, hey, you know, I'm the head of this whole line of stuff. I'm going to help everybody. Susan's helping everybody. Michael's helping everybody. I'm willing to help everybody. And what's going to happen is all of a sudden it's going to make people realize that this is a place to come, and this is a place to build, and this is a place where everybody's willing to share their knowledge, their efforts, make phone calls, sit on webinars, do whatever it takes to get it built. And all of a sudden, it doesn't matter who your upline is. As long as you're willing to sit down and put out a little bit of effort, hey, we're here. We're willing to put out the effort, and when two people are working together, all of a sudden, you got 4 people. So it's going to grow very rapidly. And like I said, I give it 6 weeks. But I think this is a whole new paradigm in taking something that people are uncomfortable with, which is that fear factor of going out and selling something, and realizing that, hey, come on over, be part of the team, and we'll show you what we do, and bring your friends. And you're going to see this thing grow rapidly. It's going to be almost a new restart for a lot of people that have lost their sponsor, and when they lose their sponsor, they feel alone. And that big fear factor guy comes rolling in there, and I think we are the answer to that problem. So I agree with you. It starts with us. So here we are. Bring your friends. We'll help you start.
Exactly. And I have to thank you guys again for joining this panel, because there is some people that just get so much more of a welcomed feeling when they do see us having this discussion on a video. Like, some people are just fine with phone calls or, you know, text style messages, but some people just get much more reassured when they see and hear us discuss it on this platform. So
I think it's real important, excuse me just one second, Michael, but it's real important to point out after my comments that Susan and I and Michael, and we're not part of the same team. Susan and Michael are part of the team, but we ran into each other on a board, and now we're working together to build those boards and the people around us, because we know that at some point we're probably going to run into each other again. So why not work together? And the more the merrier. Let's go.
And what's going on here for folks who are watching and hearing how we're working together and how we're not even keeping things simple, is that Susan has gone and created all these different materials that you may even be watching this video on right now. So if you look down on that video, there's a button that says, get started or something like that. It's green, has a car on it. And there's comments and like, so we have several different pages like that for our team members to then go out and share with other people, with as simple as starting up a conversation of, if I could show you how to spend 230 and turn that into 220 or 2200 over and over again, would you be interested? Do you think your friends would be interested? As simple of a conversation like that. So that would be the simple way to get things started. You can have that conversation with anyone. I've had conversations with Charles where he's talked about people that met, like his dry cleaner, who's turned into a great person in this network marketing world. So the materials are there, and then to go to where I know Susan's headed with our conversation tonight is the actual follow-up. So, okay, so now you've used these materials that you've gone and you've shared with people that are already provided for you. All you have to do is share it because it's there for you to use, and it'll be connected to you. It's super simple. Then there's the follow-up portion, which is what happens after. So then you would share this video link, right? Someone watches the video, and then what happens next? And that's a very important topic too, because it doesn't just stop with, here you go. There's also a reconnection. So I wanted to kind of like go in there and tie in the first half of this conversation with where we're headed, because I asked Susan, what's the topic tonight? She goes, follow-up. I'm like, okay. So Susan, take it away.
I really wanted to kind of have a focus of follow-up, because I think partly with my conversations with people, and partly it was something that I was really lacking probably about 3 or 4 months ago, and I wasn't following people up, almost, being maybe too polite is what it is. And so when I started doing that follow-up, and I make notes on a notepad, and I make notes of people that showed interest, that did have questions, but either weren't ready or whatever, and so I just would write down the date when I should follow them up, and you jump back on the phone with them or in their inbox, however you're communicating with them, and check with them. What if it has just slipped their mind, or what if they are waiting for you to bring up the invite again? You might be leaving a whole lot of team members and money on the table if you don't reconnect and follow up. It might take 3 to 5 more conversations, and they might be your most powerful team members. So that's why I really wanted to point it out. And we have the privilege of having 2 very experienced marketers on the panel here. So Charles and Kent, do you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit on the follow-up. It really kind of, my background was real estate building and development, and I can remember holding open houses on Sunday, like all realtors do, 2 to 4, and we would have a lot of people come out and look at our homes, 15 to 20 people a day, and they all gave the same answer. Is there anything I can help you with, Mrs. Jones? Is there any questions I could? Oh no, we're just looking. Go to any department store. Oh no, we're just browsing. No, I'm just looking around. It's always the same answer, and of course everybody's looking. The economy now and people's financial states, everybody's looking. The biggest thing, and this is kind of a sales 101, and I know that's a kind of a, put that word in quotation, sales, we're not salesmen, we don't do anything. Look, everything you do in life is sales. I don't care if you're trying to get a date, okay? You're selling yourself. Whatever it is, you're selling something. So just go ahead and face it and call it what it is. The biggest thing that I think people have to understand, at least for me, is I call it having a clean slate. I like to get, I'm a yes or no guy. I don't go for the maybes. I don't go for the I'll call you back next week. I don't go for the I'm going to think about it. I want a yes or a no. I'm fine with a no. No doesn't bother me because now I got a concrete answer. Now I know what category to put someone in. But that does come from the follow-up. If you send some, I'll give you guys an example. Just yesterday, or no, day before yesterday, I actually sent a friend of mine. We were talking on Facebook, and he was asking me what we were doing. He was involved with some other things with me, and I said, look, I'm involved with Race Cycler. It's a cycler program. He understands how cyclers work. I need you to do this, or I want you to do this. And just yesterday, I sent him another message. I said, I said, what's your decision on that? Have you decided on anything on that? He said, well, he's one of those, I got to check with my wife and get that type of deal. And but I wanted to get a yes or no out of it. I want to know yes or no. If you're going to do it, great. If you're not going to do it, that's fine too. The reason I want to do that is I'm a list maker. And when that name's on the list, I got to either highlight it or cross it off because I got to know which category to put the person in. And a lot of that does come from the follow-up. Just like Susan said, so many people, they get busy in life. You got the PTAs, the soccer practice, the conferences, and everything's going on. And a lot of things do slip people's minds. Like many of you, I can't tell you the number of things that get sent to me every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't have 5, 6, 7 companies from somebody who's got the next latest and greatest thing, who sends me something, and then either doesn't follow up or just blast it over to me thinking I'm just going to sign up and then go put 1,000 people into it tomorrow. That's what a lot of people might be hoping or whatever. But the follow-up is very, very important. It's crucial. And a lot of people, that's the step they leave out. They blast a link out. They blast an email blast out. They put a lot of stuff on their Facebook page. Might get a couple of comments on it. But they never follow up. They never ask for the order. And that's the key element, guys. You've got to ask for the order. Because if you don't ask for it, guess what? You're not going to get it. You've got to ask for the order. And it's a huge element of building a team. And probably even bigger than that is teaching those people how to do that same thing. Because now you got 2 people doing that. Then you got 4 people doing it. Then you got 8 people doing it. Then you got 16 people doing it. Then there's 32, 64, and the numbers just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you got all these people doing the exact same thing because they were all taught the right way to do it. That's when you start cycling over and over again. You start making some real good money.
Awesome. That's an awesome answer. If we take the follow-up into, like, say if we liken it to everyday life, for example, that first girlfriend, or maybe your wife or your husband, you didn't just meet and then become that part of your relationship. Like you maybe dated for a while, or maybe you just were friends for a little bit, but that actually was follow-up. That bridge before the relationship changed, that's follow-up. So you meet somebody and you think, oh, I really like that person. I'm going to call them up and go for coffee. Or you make some sort of intention or plan to build on that relationship. So just to kind of, for people that aren't, in the marketing mindset, it doesn't have to be thought of that way. Every relationship starts from the initial hello, and you have to build on it. And that in-between part, that's what we're talking about, follow-up.
Yeah, Susan, I think one of the big things, too, with people, there's a fear for some reason. They feel like I'm pushing this on somebody. Oh, I don't want to bother them. I don't want to push this on them. I don't want to pressure them into this. Well, that tells me a couple of things when I start to hear things like that. Number one, you don't believe in this. You don't believe in the program. You don't believe it works. You don't believe people are actually making money here. You got to believe in it yourself, first of all. And then you start to realize that I've got a good thing here. And I don't want my buddy Bob missing out on this. If Charles was one of my best friends, I don't want Charles missing out on the opportunity. So I'm going to make sure, and first of all, Charles has got the correct and right information, and then I'm going to make sure he understands it. And then if he tells me no, that's his own decision. But at least I did my part. You kind of equated this to dating, and that's a perfect analogy. When I first started dating Kay, if I had never made that second phone call and said, wow, that first date was great, I'd love to go out again, would you like to go out again with me? If I had never followed up, I wouldn't have her. You got to follow up with the people.
Exactly. Or if you have say a 40th birthday party, your best friend is having a 40th birthday party, you wouldn't hesitate on how to invite people to that birthday party because you're excited and you want people there. So if you can instill excited, it's $2,200 over and over again. Invite people. It's a party.
One of the biggest fear factors people have is they don't know how to do a follow-up. They don't know how to approach somebody to get back into the program, to talk about what's going on. And it's really as simple as calling your neighbor and finding out if they want to do something that you all talked about, a party on the weekend, or following up to find out if the kids are going to go to school. It's the same conversation. It's the same attitude. And one thing that we can add to this whole thing that you have to remember is now we are a group, now we are a team, and very, very quick follow-ups in the beginning as you work into learning how to bring up the program again and ask those questions, is that make a quick phone call with Susan, or make a quick phone call with me or Michael, and say, hey, I just, we touched base, you showed some interest. One of the things that we have that is so exciting about this is our team. And I just wanted to take a quick minute, introduce you to Charles, or introduce you to Susan, or introduce you to Michael, or Kent. And what we're going to do is just say hi. I'm going to say, I heard you were coming in. I heard you had some interest in this. I'd love to answer any questions you have. It's kind of interesting when you talk to 2 or 3 different people. You get kind of 2 or 3 different angles as to what's going on, and will pop questions in your mind. So get out a pencil and take down my phone number. If you have questions, get back to the guy who invited you, or whoever his name was, and also keep in touch with me. And then make that a very short conversation, just to let them know you're not going to pressure them, but there are more than one guy. There's more people here to help you than you might have imagined. And then if you're going to follow up again, make that phone call again, but use Susan this time. And then again, and use Michael this time, and make them, intermittent in your follow-ups, because you should be doing, from statistics in sales, it takes generally 5 times that you ask the question before somebody bites. That goes way back in many kinds of different sales. But one real easy thing to slip in there is 2 or 3 or 4 different people, just in a very brief, quick scenario that this guy can call and talk to, get a phone number, and all of a sudden he feels like there's some support. Now, you can't stretch it out to a long time to where he's feeling pressure or he's feeling overpowered, but if it's brief, it's quick, all of a sudden he realizes, hey, there's a group of people here that are working together. And that's something that really does tend to pull people in, and I'm finding a lot of my guys that are very excited about doing it that way.
One fellow we spoke with, just one of our team members brought her interested prospect into a group chat on Facebook, and we all just greeted him and started talking. It was just like a conversation, but it was digital chat in the Facebook group. And at the end, he said yes, he was going to join. And I said, what made you decide? And he said, because you guys obviously all work together. That was the game changer. And it was just a 15-minute back and forth chat message.
Winner.
And it's simple too to restart that conversation of the follow-up when, let's say, going back to talking about the tools that Susan created that I was speaking of earlier. When you give someone that, if I give you this, will you watch it? They say yes. And you're like, okay, so I can follow. If I follow up with you at this point, you will have seen it, right? Yes. Or if they say no, you can say, okay, well then when? And then you can set up a time. So if you just right up front, when you give them the link, say, I will follow up with you like this, you can build it right in, instead of saying, okay, let me know what you think, then you left it in their hands. Instead, you go, I will follow up with you at this point, and then they know you're going to be coming back, so then there's no awkward conversation either, if you want to build it in up front.
Yeah, exactly. And we have so many resources, not just our team pages, but Kent calls every Monday and Thursday. Steve West does regular calls. So if they're a phone person, sometimes I give them the option, would you like to watch a video or listen to a 20-minute call? And then once they say which one they want, let me know when you're done and I'll get back to you, just like what Michael was saying. So we're what we're doing is we're melding together the digital marketing concept with the offline concept, and we're all meeting in the middle. So we have so many options and so many resources to work together.
And what's cool too that we have here, if you're a person and you're watching this video, well then clearly you're a person, but since you're watching this video, some people may be going, okay, I'm a marketer, I get this, sure. Then there may be other people who are like, why would I want this? Well, the referral rewards program, which is what we're talking about when you invite 2 people that come in and they purchase these ebooks and software, right? So that's $230. So you can just be a reseller and then just make the money off that as you refer people in, right? So, but if you're a person who is a marketer, right? So let's speak to you for a second. know how when you want to build a buyer's list so that you can sell your other things, right? But you need ebooks to give away, stuff like that. That's what we got here. That's what I'm using. I give away to, when I'm driving traffic to certain products that I got or on my website, I give away a collection of ebooks. It's more than one. I don't give one away. It's a collection, and it all is based off marketing, right? So let's say you're a person and you're an artist or a band member, or you have a band, or you're a performer, or maybe you have a small business and you want to just learn how to get your business out more. We have that inside of our group, so we're providing a little extra value for members who come and work with our team. But two, this can help you generate some extra income that you might be able to use to market your current business, put extra cash in your pocket. If you're a person who has never done anything with online before and you're watching this video and you're going, oh my gosh, I'm so curious about this, but everything has a residual payment and I can't really afford to do $100 a month, this is a one-time payment of $230. You can look into the information we provide in the group, right? There's tons of videos and everything, you name it, it's back there. And then also, I lost my train of thought. Oh my goodness, videos there. Oh, and the ebooks, again, you can use those and read those to see if this is really something that fits with you. And instead of going and spending, $100 a month for a year to find out if something's for you or not, you spent $230 once. So instead of $1,200, you spent $230, and you really understood it. And you worked with a group of people who helped you excel in this program that you just went into for one purchase. So I wanted to just kind of put that out there because there's so many different people who could be watching this going, well, sure, I kind of get it, but then how would I use it? Why is it for me? And the reason why it's for you is because it's for everyone, because it's that simple. You don't need to be a whole internet marketer guru to figure this one out. Do you want to turn 230 into 222 or 2200 over and over again? I mean, it's as simple as that, right? For what? It's products that you can use to build a business or sell to people who can build a business. So I just wanted to kind of throw that back in there just in case there's people watching, Susan, who
Exactly.
Don't really going, okay, well, this is kind of crazy, but how does it work for me? Because that's what we do. We provide solutions for people. We help people do what they want. This is just one key part of getting started, because it's just that extra boost or extra fuel that's needed.
Michael, you hit the nail on the head right there. That is, by far, hands down, the #1 question that needs to be asked. Do you want to turn $230 into $2,200 over and over again? It's a simple question. In fact, it's a yes or no question. Okay, forget how we're going to do it, forget why we're going to do it, forget the concept, forget the mechanics of it, forget the ins and outs of it. Do you want to do that? And if the answer is yes, now I'll show you how to do it. And that truly is that. And on the follow-up, there's so many people. It's usually just one or two small little things that hold people back. And for a lot of people, me included, they're so maybe new to this and they don't understand it that they don't know what to ask. They have a question, but they don't even know what the question is because they don't understand how it works. So I love what you said because that's the way. I sponsor 30 people now. I'm telling you, every single one, 100% of those people that I sponsor personally, every one of them, I never talked about the business. I never talked about the products. I never talked about how it works. I got every single one of them using that one question that you just stated right there. And that, I mean, bam, that's it. You nailed it. And if people just get that and duplicate that, that's what we got. I mean, who doesn't want to turn $230 into $2,200 over and over again? Who doesn't want to earn an extra $2,200, $4,400, $8,800 a month? Everybody wants to do that. So obviously we've got the answer. We've got the solution. It's just a matter of getting people to understand the mechanics of it, and how it works. And it takes a little time to do that. But I'm telling you, man, once you do understand it and once you see it happening and you've experienced it, I'll give a good buddy of mine, Mike Makemson, up in Hickory, North Carolina. I personally sponsored him. He went to bed last night, got up the night before last night, got up, had made $500 while he was sleeping. Got up again this morning. He actually raised his cows. Had a new calf that was being born this morning. Made another $500, and it wouldn't surprise me a bit if he hadn't made another $500 before he goes to bed tonight. It's just his third or fourth time cycling through. It's a genius plan. It's just, and people just, I'm telling you, there's nothing better out there. There's not. There's just, and if it is, I want to know about it. But there's just nothing better out there.
Oh, you're muted, Charles. Can you unmute yourself?
How about that? It's like one of those Chinese films. You can see my mouth moving, but the sound comes later.
You need a subtext.
Yeah, it would be an interesting test for everybody out there that's watching that's actually on Facebook. You know, Susan does a lot of really cool things with internet marketing, and Michael does too, and I'm kind of old school, but what if you just made it very simple and posted in your Facebook in your little line, don't put any games or anything else, just say that statement. If I could show you how to take $230 and turn it into $2,200 over and over and over again, when would you ask me to stop? Put that in there. Send it out there. See how many people respond, because I'll bet you 90% of your friends would respond. And there's a lot of you guys out there that have thousands of friends. I think it would be an interesting experiment.
Exactly. Keep it simple. And I mean, any one of us are here to explain all the intricacies, but like Kent said, like we've all said, it's really just as simple as that.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do that tonight, see what happens.
Yeah. We're at half an hour. Do you guys have anything else to add? It would be good to keep it short to respect our time and our viewers' time. Does anybody have any closing thoughts?
I feel pretty good. You know, if you're watching this video and there's a link below it because someone shared it with you, click it and get started. It's as simple as that. If you're watching this video and you don't see a link because it's just for some reason not there, or someone shared it with you differently, or you found it some random place, get back to the person that shared it with you and ask them how to get started. It's as simple as that. It's 2:30 one time. I have spent, and I posted this on my Facebook. I'm going to say it, Susan. Sorry. You know, in my 20s, I live in New York. Give me a break for 1 second. I've spent $230 on drugs and alcohol in an evening. And what did I get for that besides a hangover? You know, so just to put it into reality, it's not that much money. You know, so now I'm like, okay, now I'm a smart adult, and I want to do smart things. Why don't I invest in a product that can help me with my personal business, and I can use it as a personal business? And it's as simple as bringing in 2 people who also want to turn $230 into $2,200. That's all I got to say. Just click the button. Connect with one of us. That's all. You have a great night. Thanks for joining us.
Ken, anything else to add?
I think we pretty much hit it all here tonight. It's you know, I speak to the computer programmers on a pretty regular basis, and you know my background with computer technology. I mean, Susan does good just to get me on these Google Hangouts. She makes it easy for me to get on here. But anyway, they'll tell me and use computer language, and we're doing this, and the board's going to work like this, and we're adding this feature to it, and I've written this code into it, and all these words and languages and things. I just don't understand it. And I can remember a conversation I had one day, and I actually told one of them, I said, you know what? I don't want to know all that. I don't need to know all that. I don't care about all of that. Just tell me what I got to do to make $2,200. And that was really, I just didn't care about that. And you know, I know a lot of people that get hung up on that and feel like they have to know that. But you know, we all drive a car. I know nothing about car and mechanics and motors and engines and how they work. I do good just to know what side the gas cap's on. But yet we all get into the car every morning, and we turn the key, we step on the right pedal, and the car goes. We don't have to know how it all works. We just know that somebody else designed something that does work. And so that's kind of the approach that I take with this. I truly don't get into long conversations with people. When I get drilled with all kinds of questions and want to know how this works, and in fact, I've had people who have never joined, and want to know what's going to happen on my 3rd cycle if the person that I sponsor has not come in. You're asking me questions that are absolutely of no relevance right now. Okay, we're just wasting each other's time. Well, I don't want to say wasting each other's time, but we're spending time talking about something that really just doesn't matter. Let's go back to my original question. Do you want to know how to turn $230 into $2,200 over and over again? And if you just kind of keep the guidance on the course with that one question, stay on that topic, it's worked well for me, and obviously it's worked well for you guys too, and worked well for a lot of other people. Our numbers are approaching. I think we're getting close to about 7,000 or so, something like that. It's come in now, so it's really starting to build. And you're going to see some real big momentum. And let me say this too, because I have been in the industry for a good while now. The months of November and December are always the slowest. It's the slowest with any company. I don't care what company you're with. Everybody's got Thanksgiving and Christmas and holidays and get-togethers and family gatherings and all that going on. And it's just kind of the farthest thing from people's minds. But having said that and knowing that, you have to also understand this. Come January, February, March, that's when the fuel gets really thrown on the fire. And I've seen this happen year after year. I had a wise guy who told me that one time, and I experienced that. And the ones that reap the benefits from that are the ones that have got the pedal down during these months. The ones that are starting to build those teams and starting to get that infrastructure in place as people are starting to tell a few other people who tell a few other people who tell a few other people. Come January, February, March, then the floodgates start to open up, and that's when the big pay starts to get. And it'll happen. Obviously, it'll happen. I've seen it happen year after year after year.
Awesome. Charles, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, he's right. These are the slowest couple months of the year, but how many of you guys out there could use $2,200 for Christmas?
Sure.
I know I could, so it's kind of an exciting time. Get together, give it a try, and give us a call. We'll help you all we can. And follow up next week. We'll be here again.
Thank you, Susan, for putting this together.
Thank you. I want to thank each one of you. I absolutely love how you guys engage with the conversation, and it adds so much. It's so much more exciting and interesting for everyone to listen to the conversation rather than just me talking on here. And you guys bring so much value, so thank you very much. And regarding follow-up, if you're watching this video, make sure you do follow up with us. We are on like I said, 1 to 3 times every week, and next week there is going to be an extra webinar presentation that Kent is doing, and well, I guess you'll just have to get in touch with us and find out what it's all about, but I think it's going to be powerful. And also, 2 of the guests that we were supposed to have on tonight, we'll probably get them on next week, and one lady has an awesome story to tell, and it has kind of to do with that question that I asked about if your sponsor is not active. I believe that's how her story started. Her sponsor wasn't active, and she just decided to go to town, and her husband are qualified for the cruise. Did I get that part of the fact right, Ken?
Yeah, it is so true.
So we're going to have her on to tell the story.
She, I won't mention her name because maybe you want it to be a surprise, but she was actually somebody who landed on my Grand National Board, and I didn't know who she was, and I sent her an email. And we've had many conversations. And come to find out, she had sponsored her and her husband like 20 people within 8 days. It was unreal. And so she's actually got some ideas that tie in really with that question that Michael had. The $230 and $2,200. She's got some things that she's helping to put together. A very, very powerful lady, and obviously proving that the system works. I mean, it just does.
Exactly. And after I heard how she put the conversation out to people, I tweaked how I was inviting people, and I'm having better results as well. So if we're open to learn from each other, we can always improve. So
absolutely.
Thank you, and good night, everybody.
All right, see ya.
Good night. See you later.